nasa kabilang linya na yata natin, Sir David, yung ating unang panauhin.
Gusto niyo na po ipakilala ko na, no?
Ipakilala
Ah,
na natin.
okay, ito po, kasama natin ngayon si Cathy Yang. Siya ang First Vice President at Head of Corporate Communications ng PLDT and Smart. Ah,
Hi, good afternoon, Johnny
hello,
and
Cathy.
David.
Good
Good to see you
afternoon, Ma'am
both.
Cathy.
Happy Friday. Thank you so much. Napaaga lang, ano? So nakikinig lang ako, pero go ahead with your conversations. It's been an interesting first few minutes.
Ito po yung usapang bata at iba pa, Ma'am Cathy. And
Yes.
we are really happy and thankful, grateful na kayo'y sasama dito sa palatuntunan. Because doon sa unang bahagi, dinidiscuss natin, Sir David, yung mga nakikita nating disconnect pagdating sa edukasyon. And the private sector, PLDT and Smart, no? Kayo po ay very, very generous, no? Not only in assisting yung ating pamalaan at ang ating mga kabataan doon sa mga tangible na mga pangangailangan. Pero Sir David, because of this marketing and corporate social responsibility, itong mga tools na ito, nagagawa nating ibaba kasi. Nagagawa nating ibaba dun sa level na talagang naiintindihan ng bata na teka muna, vulnerable kami. Ano ba yung pwede niyong itulong sa amin, Sir David?
Oo, Sir Johnny, siguro, no, magandang ipakilala natin or
Oh,
galing na mismo kay Cathy. Ano ba ang PLDT at Smart? Ito ba yung
yes.
telepono lang? O meron pa kayong ibang ginagawa dun sa inyong business, halimbawa? Cathy?
Yes, David, thank you so much for inviting us over to share our journey here, no, of helping each other with providing connectivity.
Mhm.
Isa yun, ano, yung connectivity, that's so basic. It's a human right. Pero yung kapares niyan, yung services and solutions. Kaya naroon tayo, ano, two-pronged ang ating approach. And it really goes beyond business. Kaya nga napapanahon na ito ang napapag-usapan natin and with focus on children. An important part of our business is really solid stakeholder management. May
Okay.
programa kami para diyan, ano. Yun nga, ang sabi nila, doing good is good business. Now,
Mhm.
that's not just a saying because it's really happening here because every initiative we do, and I do know that, David, you've been involved in some of them, no? Hosting our education pillar. Nakakatuwa nga yung ALS, yung Alternative Learning System. Natutunan ko sa'yo sa pag-host mo sa isang programa sa kasagsagan ng pandemya.
Mhm.
Doon talaga tayo lumago, no? At nakatulong at naipakita natin na ang ating layunin ay makatulong. Puwera doon sa connectivity. Aminado nating meron pa tayong connectivity issue. We have areas that are far-flung, that do not have any connectivity, but we have found ways through the services and solutions that we offer. And this goes on top of what we do as a business. Pwera yun sa
Mhm.
negosyong ginagawa natin, we help the communities that our business serves. So ang priority is to help the communities kung saan naroroon na ang negosyo natin, ano, at pinapaigting pa natin sa pag-provide nitong mga initiatives. Pwede siya sa edukasyon, sa livelihood, disaster preparedness, doon sa mga sakuna. Nandoon din kami in good times and bad. The most recent one really is the pandemic, ano, doon natin na ipakita yung importance ng digital connectivity and the solutions and services that come along with it. Dahil meron nga kami yung sa kabilang dako, yung schoolie na bag na ang dami ng narating, no, na nakasakay pa sa kalabaw. Yung schoolie na bag na ang laman niya, mga digital gadgets. Ako, may mga litrato kami dyan, tsaka mga video clip na talagang yung pina-crossover nila sa mga rivers and mountains, ano. My team actually got boots on the ground doing just that during the pandemic. Imagine the fear factor there, but the gratitude and
Mhm.
also the fulfillment of doing this kind of work for our customers. And it's also through relief work that we show this kind of this offering, this service. You know this very well. We have the learning program na online, yung naging focus natin talaga doon sa mga na-disconnect, yung mga batang hindi makapasok sa kani-kanila mga
Mhm.
eskwelahan. They were able to continue doing their work and their schoolwork with their teachers in their respective homes and the students in their respective communities. So this wouldn't have happened without our focus on collaboration. Siguro kung
Yes.
ang ating diskusyon over the next few minutes, magfo-focus dyan sa letter C na yan, doon tayo pumaroon, ano? Kasi because of this collaboration, nagkaroon tayo ng key partners.
Mhm.
And we were able to create wider communities and opportunities that helped improve and rebuild the lives and livelihood of our customers. And in specific to that is really the Filipino community, because that's the country we serve sa
Yes.
PLDT and Smart.
So Johnny,
Oo, naalala ko, hindi ko lang alam, no, yung history talaga ng PLDT, kung sino yung nauna when it comes to the, ano man tawag dyan, landline. Pero definitely, si PLDT, Sir David, ay isang matibay na haligi when it comes to communication. Pero this, I believe, Smart pioneered yung ating cellular business. Natatandaan ko pa nung araw, yung malalaking telepono pa na kailangan mo talagang hatakin yung antena.
Hindi ka nag-iisa dyan, Johnny. Ano ko rin yan. We are making our age.
Alam po ninyo, nung mga panahon na early 90s, no, yung aking mga kasama sa Radio Veritas pa nung araw, ipinagmamalaki sa akin yung Nokia na brand. No. Pero ako, happy ako dun sa Motorola na pagkalaki-laki. Tapos ang haba-haba ng antena. Dahil feeling ko, mas pansin ako ng tao na yayamanin because of that gadget.
Alala ko pa yun.
Oo.
Naabutan ko yung Motorola, pero hindi man yung malaki na mukhang parang charger.
Pagkaskas daw ng
Umabot ako
yelo.
dun sa flip Motorola. At
Okay.
nagpalaki ko pa nga yung Nokia, no? Nagtagal ako sa
Yes.
Nokia talaga. At puwera pa doon kung born na rin kayo doon sa pagers. Doon tayo nanggaling. Yung parang tatawag pa tayo doon sa operator para makakonect, tapos ididikta natin, tapos
Oo.
medyo lost in translation, nakakatuwa kung iisipin mo nanggaling tayo doon. Pero you're right about that history, no? We do have a legacy. In fact, we're already 94 years sa PLDT. Where I'm in right now is a building that was built in the early 20th century. And yun nga, because we started with a fixed line service. Ito yung landline na tinatawag, no? Yung ngayong kabataan, pag sinabi mo, pakisagot yung telepono. Anong telepono? Nandito yung telepono. Hindi na nga ganun yung hawak eh. Ganun. Parang ano, di ba? Iba na yung henerasyon ngayon. But because Smart came in the 90s, nagkaroon tayo ng wireless. So itong fixed line, nadagdagan ng wireless. At because of that convergence or parang interdependence to each other, mas lumakas pa yung service, because whatever the fixed line could not serve, because we're an archipelagic country with 7,107 islands, mobile connectivity covered. So parang ganun yung nangyari, ano, yung because of the technology transition from wired to wireless, nagkaroon tayo ng integrated telco company. Ngayon, ang ating pinupuntirya makapagbigay ng serbisyo and solutions on top of connectivity. Aminado, hindi naman perfect ang connectivity, pero nandoon na tayo because we are the leading integrated telco in the Philippines. Presumably, we should also lead the space in the services and solutions.
Meron lang akong dalawang maiklit na katatawang kwento dun sa pager. Sir David, nung nag-aaral tayo sa pamantasan ng lungsod ng Maynila, meron akong professor na kung tayo yung pager nilalagay natin sa belt, baba ito, siya inilalagay niya doon sa kanyang bulsa ng kanyang blouse. Uso pa yung malalaking pager, no, nakalagay dyan. So, tinatanong namin yung professor, ma'am, bakit nandyan yung pager ninyo? Hindi kami pinapansin. At nakakwentuhan namin yung driver, nako talagang ganyan yung gusto ni ma'am, kitang-kita na siya'y bahagi ng alta sosyedad daw. Kaya doon sa bulsa nakalagay. Isang kwento pa, merong mga nag-oopisina, ayaw tumawag dyan sa pager. Dahil tama yung kwento ni Ma'am Cathy, may mga operators. So tinanong ko, bakit hindi kayo tumatawag dyan sa pager? Ayoko, kinukorek yung grammar namin ng operator.
At kung may masama kayong sasabihin, hindi naman sa nagsasabi ng masama, ano? Editin nila, sabihin na, ma'am, hindi po pwede yan. Ngayon, hindi na, no? Tayo nang bahala, tayo pa nagko-correct. Ayun, tayo na rin ng technology yung naabot niya over the span of decades. And just looking back at that and seeing gadgets na parang pang eBay na lang nga yung Nokia na yan, pero binibili pa rin eh. Kasi
That's right.
meron tayong memories with that.
Pero alam niyo, kidding aside, no, kaya namin binabalikan yung history ng different gadgets. Ito parati kong tinatanong, Sir David, meron tayong geographically isolated and disadvantaged area. Napakarami niyan with more than 7,000 islands. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Cathy, archipelagic, nahihirapan talaga yung ating gobyerno na sila'y abutin. Mabuti na nandyan ang private sector para tumulong. Pero kayo, Ma'am Cathy, meron ba kayong ginagawang audit as to how many? Yung bilang ng ating mga kababayan na talagang napakahirap abutin, napakahirap puntahan, at baka sa tulong ng inyong corporate social responsibility ay merong mga initiatives na you are working with the government para naman mapabilis yung pong pagbibigay ng serbisyo, especially when it comes to telecommunication.
Alam mo, naramdaman namin yan, no, Johnny, nung nag-SIM registration launch.
Okay.
Because doon nga lumitaw yung GIDCA na tinatawag na yung geographically isolated and disadvantaged, conflict-afflicted areas, kaya GIDCA. Because we tried to get everyone to register their SIMs. At nakapag-register na rin tayo ng mahigit 25%. In fact, tayo nangunguna, no, ever since it started in December, dahil na rin sa tulong ng ating assisted SIM registration booths and touch points across different provinces. Pero doon din namin naramdaman yung problema ng mga geographically isolated. Kaya babalikan ko lang din yung collaboration word, no, kasi kami na mismong kusang nag-collaborate sa gobyerno na we cannot do this alone. And I have to say that even the NTC and the DITC, DILG have come forward to work with us hand in hand. In fact, we cascaded our first sort of information cascade doon pa lang, nung Enero pa lang, ano, at doon namin talaga nag-information awareness, dissemination kami kung bakit ba ito kailangan. At doon din namin naramdaman na hindi namin maaabot yung mga geographically isolated areas kung hindi tumulong ang gobyerno.
Yes.
Kasi sila ang nakapag-provide ng mga tao on the ground kung saan pupunta, at para masamahan din yung ating mga field workers, ano, because it could be dangerous, you never know. Only they would know the lay of the land, yung ating mga LGUs. Kaya that constant collaboration with local government units, from the DILG to the communities, have really helped us widen our reach to be available to all, to senior citizens, to those with 2G phones. Meron pa rin na nagto-2G phones, but that's okay. They also are SIM-enabled at kailangan din yan i-register. Because of the lack of maybe a connectivity, hindi sila maka-go on the portal, they can come to the booth and then have themselves registered. So doon namin naramdaman talaga na may challenge, no? We still have a ways to go. We know that the deadline is still on April 26 para sa pag-register ng ating SIMs. Pero kung kakailanganin nga ng gobyerno ng more time, we are with the government to continue to help. Because isa lang ang na-mention mo dyan, ano, Johnny, it's the geographically isolated and disadvantaged. Pero meron pa tayong conflict-afflicted. Yun ang mas mahirap. Kung iisipin mo, kasi yun yung may mga, security issues.
Yes, may mga threats.
Threats, correct. And we don't want anyone, our subscribers, to put their lives in danger. So yan ang ating tutumbukin over the next few weeks, no, as we chase up the deadline for April 26. Sa mga datos, siguro kung I'm not able to give you an exact figure, no, but just going by the kind of registration process we've had, we are in the lead amongst all telcos, but it's still a ways to go for the government to really achieve 100% SIM registration of all their SIMs. And ito rin, isasabay ko na rin kasi nga ang title ng inyong programa about kabataan, ano? Taping kabataan. Meron niyang malaking component, ano, yung child protection. Ang SIM registration ay para mapuksa ang mga masasamang elemento dyan. Meron na nga datos ang DICT na bumaba ang number of scammers nung nag-register tayo ng SIMs kasi nagkakabistuhan na. Doon sa isang part, kasi nga they can't use it na eh. They cannot
Correct.
register. It's not real. If they don't register using their own information, they may also be penalized or even sent to jail. Yun doon naman sa child protection, yung mga predators would also be left out because they need to register their own SIMs.
That's right.
Mabubunyag sila. So yun lang no na importante talaga to na magpa-register ng SIM. So yun ang aking mensahe at that's been the message really for the past 2 months because it solves two things and it is part of the solutions and services we offer.
Sir David.
Ito yung gusto ko sa mga ganitong klaseng kumpanya, mapatelco ka man, tubig o kuryente, yung mga basic necessities yung kanilang ina-address. Halimbawa, technology, 'di ba, sa mga nakikinig sa atin, sinabi na nila, hindi lang sila basta telepono, sila yung nagpo-provide ng Wi-Fi, communication. Sasabihin niyo, paano namang makakatulong yan sa education? Ano makakatulong yan sa livelihood, di ba? So meron ho silang iba't ibang strategies na ine-employ. At una nga doon, pinaka-importante, sinabi ni Cathy kanina, yung collaboration. Kasi technology, looking at it alone, palagay ko, correct me if I'm wrong, wala namang magagawa yun, unless i-apply mo ng maayos sa education, sa livelihood, and sa health. So ngayon, gusto ko sanang tanongin si Cathy sa paggawa ng corporate social responsibility programs. Ano ba yung strategies ninyo? How do you find the gap? And how do you build solutions around it?
Okay, gaps are very interesting because that's exactly where we want to be to address the need. And we've achieved several milestones. If I could just share, may mga ilang data sa to at and I will focus on the child protection and safe spaces online programs. We've crossed several milestones there, especially with child protection and digital wellness. We talk about this in parallel because we need a holistic solution for protecting our young. It's not just to keep them away from the bad actors, but also providing that environment that would create healthy interaction with our services and solutions. So that's high on the agenda. So just going by the numbers, and this one I just got an update from my team, we already have over 27 advocacy partners, 27, and then 8 local government co-champions. And a reach of over 44 million just on our social media platform. That's a whole lot. And this all stems from the belief of this continuous creation of shared value. Important sa amin yung shared value because we are in collaboration with others. And it should be multi-sectoral and a whole-of-nation approach. And this is exactly what we're doing right now with you as media partners. You're part of that whole-of-nation approach in just making the digital world better and safer. Kaya nga nagkaroon kami ng better today. Kasi yun nga yung aming gusto na maging para sa lahat ng ating mga kabataan. Now, pero dyan, malakas din kami sa blocking. And we couldn't have done this without the help of our cybersecurity group. Right at the onset, ang ganda na ng aming partnership, every time cybersecurity hit a milestone, they would tip us and say, ang ating child protection platform naka-block na ng ganito-ganyan. Itong pinaka-latest, yung uniform resource links na tinatawag na URLs, nakaabot na tayo ng pag-block ng 586,000 URLs. And online content that is linked to what is called OXEA. Marami siyang acronyms, pero OXEA na lang gamitin natin today. Ito yung Online Child Sexual Exploitation and Abuse. Yun nga, OXEA. Yang datos na yan ay para lang sa end of 2022. So nagbigay daan ito sa PLDT Group to block an even bigger number, which is already 1 billion attempts.
Wow.
Attempts lang ito to access the illicit files. And that's a number we got by the end of 2022. But blocking is only one, because that is not the whole of the whole child protection, safe spaces, online advocacy. We've added another layer. to reinforcing our fight against Oxea. So we wanted to champion safer spaces for children online. Meron kaming milestones in mental health and awareness. And creating that sort of awareness really required the cooperation and collaboration with public and communities on the awareness programs. We've garnered over 30 million reach just for Twitter conversations alone. And this is a number that I got just a few hours ago because my team really wanted you to have the fresh numbers. That is a Twitter conversation on an initiative called #UsapTayo. In English, it's #Let'sTalk. As you know, may stigma, no, ang mental health issues. But because of the connectivity, the platform we had, we wanted people to talk about their mental health challenges and to say that it's okay not to be okay. So because of that and our collaboration with Mental Health PH, naka-garner tayo ng ganun kalaking reach, no, 30 million. Pero dyan, nagkaroon din tayo ng 15 million views for the Better Today Affirmations Challenge. Affirmations naman siya under the winning Better Today initiative na nanalo, kapapanalo lang doon sa Anvils in partnership naman with TikTok. So my team is very much engaged in platforms that are right now very popular for the young because it's the young who need our help. Meron pang isa, 1.4 million reach for the Time Capsule Project and the Power Move Project social campaigns. So yan ang mga datos na nakalapan natin, na nakapag-partner tayo sa mga various community advocates, mga key opinion leaders, organizations, and some of them also include UNICEF, Google, Facebook, National Center for Mental Health, World Health Organization, and within the MVP group, the MVP Sports Foundation, and then an organization that just came to us because of their knowledge of our interest in protecting children, yung Football for Humanity. And also engaging Filipino gold medalist Heidelin Diaz. And kung basketball fans kayo, Filipinas athletes like Dwight Ramos and si SJ Belangel na 3-point shooter talaga, ang galing-galing. So on ground, ma-share ko lang kasi yun ang mga proyekto, pero importante kasi na meron tayong on ground na boots on the ground, people really strengthening our child protection systems in grassroots communities. Ito yung pinipili namin, grassroots communities that have the biggest exposure to our service. So yun ang inuna namin through partnerships with Kids for Kids PH and Safe for Kids PH Consortium. And in turn, ang aming naibigay naman is to enhance their community capacity for Oxea prevention and also give them telemedicine. Napaka-importante niyan, because we're also offering that via MWell, yung ating app from the MVP group, as a hospitals group, and relevant counseling through the rollout of digital equipment, training, and mobilization efforts. So talagang pinalakas natin yung capacity building efforts in mobilizing these communities.
Mamaya, Sir David, ikikwento ni Ma'am Cathy yung Anvil. Nakita ko dun sa kanyang background, 3 trophy na, no?
Ayan,
konti na lang, Hall of Fame na. Meron bang Hall of Fame?
Makwento ko lang. Ito kinatutuwa ko talaga kasi noong 2020, kapapasok ko pa lang, nanalo na ang team, ng Group Corpcoms at ng buong PLDT Group ng Company of the Year. Ito yung malaking Anvil Award na nasa gitna. Ngayon, in 2021, so sabi namin, nakachamba tayo. Pero hindi, noong 2021, nanalo ulit Company of the Year. Ito naman yung natanggap natin last year na nasa kanang bahagi. At ito yung pinaka-recent. This one, sa first in-person event na ginanap sa Marriott, ito ang ating naging award. Kaya ginusto kong ipakita because ito rin ang ating topic ng conversation, which also leads us to the reason why we're getting recognized is because these are just not words, but put into action. And hoping that this conversation also makes everyone aware that we're open to further collaboration para palakasin pa natin ang nasimula namin.
Palagay ko, ng problema sila kanina doon sa framing Kasi kung ilalagay pa yung ibang trophy, hindi pa kasama yung Asia CEO Awards. No?
Yes.
Palagay ko, kapos na kapos.
Nasa harap ko siya. Nasa
pero,
pero
meron akong meron akong very inspiring yung binabanggit sa atin ni Ma'am Cathy. Ito kasi yung kailangan ng kabataan, inspiration. We have got to motivate them, no? Doon sa kung saan natin sila gustong dalhin. Yung binabanggit mo, ma'am, kanina na hashtag usap tayo. Sir David, na-recall mo na pag-usapan natin na siguro last 2 months yung mga suicidal tendencies ng mga
Yes.
kabataan
Mhm.
na meron pa ngang umabot sa less than 3,000 yung mga attempted suicide pero hindi sila
Mhm.
nag-succeed, no? Marami pa rin tayong tinatanggap na mga text messages na hindi naman considered scam. Katulad nung galing sa NTC, katulad ng galing sa Fivolts for that matter, no?
Mhm.
Ang gusto ko sanang itanong, Ma'am Cathy, kung is there a possibility na ang Smart mag-pioneer dun sa sending of information, parang mga motivational messages sa ating mga kabataan. Kunwari, meron ako natanggap na message from Smart on suicide. Paano ba natin imomotivate yung mga kabataan na not to engage into that kind of activity? I guess ito po yung mga information na kailangan ng ating mga youths of today for them to be able to really prepare themselves. Napakahirap po ng ating pinagdaraanan ngayon. Napakarami pong problema. Yung post-trauma ng pandemic hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa
Correct.
po natin alam kung hanggang kailan natin bibit-bitin. Ma'am Cathy,
That is
is
so
this
true.
something na pwede nating i-explore?
Yes, in fact, we have started it up during the pandemic. Nung nakita nga nating pumalo, no, yung
Oo.
Oxia, sinabayan natin ng mental health conversations towards the end of that year. That was 2020, nung pumalo siya nung March. Kasi
Okay.
yung lockdown, no, propagated an atmosphere where kids were locked down and the parents mismo, this is a sad fact, needed work, perhaps they lost work or needed some money for food. They engaged in Oxea. Because of that, nagkaroon din ng pagtaas ng mental health issues sa ating
Yes.
kabataan. Pero doon, yung mga nag-aaral online, na-expose din sila suddenly sa mga bad actors. Hindi naman natin alam kung saan sila nagsisurf,
Mm-mm.
because pretty much pinag-aaral nga natin online pero meron din dyan nagde-lurk ng mga
Yeah.
bad actors. Tumaas ang mental health issues, and we did engage the youth through our platform. We went through Facebook, TikTok.
Okay.
Yung na-mention mo kanina, SMS, what we actually do is collaborate with the likes of NTC, yung mga government agencies to give announcements of that sort na siguro na you've been receiving messages every day, kung hindi every other day, from the NTC na nagsasabi mag-register na kayo, nag-register na ba kayo ng SIM ninyo?
Yes.
Ulit-ulit, hindi ba? Yun yung kind of service that we give on the SMS platform. Or sabihin natin, nagkaroon ng earthquake or merong sakuna, may orange rainfall, yung mga ganon. We also provide the access to that, but it's on a different, tinatawag na ECBS. Pero in terms of what we're talking about dun sa mental health, we found avenues that are mostly visited by the targeted stakeholders that we want to focus on. So ito yung platforms, the usual Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and also our own social media platforms. Meron kaming newsroom, tsaka social smart communities where we post all these interviews. They're interviews with not just athletes, but famous actresses and young people that you would think na mukhang okay naman buhay niya, pero hindi pala, nagkaroon din siya ng
Yeah.
challenge at nakaka-relate. The fact na the conversation is being brought up really makes it less of a taboo. Na it just is the start of a conversation. We don't mean to end it the minute the live stream ends. No, it's a conversation that a young person or maybe a parent would take with them to their kids. If I just may add as well, hindi lang siya platforms, kundi internally, nagkaroon kami ng massive information dissemination and education program para sa mga empleyado, mga nearly 5,000 na nag-attend over a period of a few months na in-educate natin ng parents, no? Because as employees, we too are parents or maybe titas or titos who take care of young at home. So to have empowered employees had given us parang the parang the right to actually lead the conversation kasi we provide the connectivity and we want to make sure that when their kids are connected, they're safe. So our employees have gone home to their kids to teach their kids about what they learned. So isa rin yun doon sa whole of corporate approach na rin na pwede nating tawagin na we present it in a way where we're trying to reach all stakeholders, not only in social media platforms, but also employees through the very same platform that we use, MS Teams. I mean, we conducted those sessions as well. Sa kasagsagan ng pandemya, ngayon lang kami magre-return to office in full, no? So we haven't really seen everybody, but we were able to protect the adults to protect their kids through these education campaigns. Yes.
Yeah. Sir Johnny and Cathy.
Ikaw yun eh.
Oo, mabasa ko eh. Ito yung sinasabi ko na ganitong klase dapat ng publicity or di kaya promotion, yung ginagawa ng mga taong nandoon sa gobyerno, boots on the ground, ika nga, di ba? Si Cathy was very bold in presenting the numbers because they've done it. Because once you're able to say it, then ako bilang isang observer, pwede ko nang i-google na gawa mo ba talaga yon. Doon sa part ng ating government, dapat sana ganun din yung ginagawa nila. Let them be proud of their work. If they're really, on it, working. Para yung mga nangangailangan ng scholarships, halimbawa, na nabanggit mo kanina, yung mga talaga nangangailangan ng mga classrooms, maitatayo talaga, matutulungan ng iba't ibang private companies. And yun nga, again, congratulations for winning for the third time, itong Anvil Award for Company of the Year. Cathy, pakikwento naman sa amin, yung mga tao mo ba, or kayo, paano ba kayo gumagawa ng Anvil Award? So, pipili kayo ng category. Nagpupuyatan ba kayo? Nagkakasusulat?
For sure, may puyatan. Kasi kapag last minute na, medyo minsan na-extended deadline, sige pa, kailangan pa i-refine. Pero masasabi ko talaga, masinsina ng preparation nito, babalikan ko na rin yung collaboration dahil kinailangan talagang magtulungan. At ito ang natuklasan ng aking team, who have spent more time than I have because I came in 2020. So these 3 awards have come Company of the Year just the past 3 years. But 10 years ago, sinimula nila by presenting to the different teams within PLDT Group what the Anvils is about. And then let's give it a try. Parang ganon, yung awareness campaign, sinimulan doon. And then suddenly, we started to put in entries. Entries as PLDT, and then entries as Smart. Kasi nga, we are 2 different entities. But when the onus came for us to integrate our operations and the way we communicate, PLDT and Smart, we started to enter competitions as one. So it's PLDT and Smart. So it's the PLDT group. Pero doon, yung ating pag-invite sa mga collaborators natin, nakatulong dahil every single entry contributes to a certain number. Kunwari nanalo yung entry na yon ng Silver Anvil, meron siyang assigned value. So nag-a-add up siya. Kaya nagiging Company of the Year kasi nga sa dami ng competition entries, nag-a-add yung value. Kung sino yung pinakamataas, yun ang panalo. Pero of course, that's also without saying na dapat qualitative naman yung entry. At ang aming natutunan, kung ano man ang relevant sa ating target public at kung ano man ang kinakailangan ng community, doon tayo pumaparito. Like for instance, doon sa PLDT Home, nanalo sila ng Grand Anvil, doon sa Madiskarte Moms, PH. Yon talaga nanalo kasi nga it was about mothers at home and how they keep a home happy and connected. This was something that was propagated by the home division. So that is something that we put into a summary. At yun na yung trabaho ng Group Corpcom, so to ensure na malinis ang copy, na walang grammatical error, and then to submit it according to the needs of the Anvils. Pero yun nga, tinatanong kami palagi, what is your secret? What is your secret sauce? Yan ang palagi tinatanong. At tinatanong ko rin ang team ko, ano nga ba talaga? So yun, ang sabi nila, there's really no hard and fast rules. And In fact, they always say, and they invited us, in fact, the Anvils, the PRSP, PR Society of the Philippines, invited us to talk about how we actually do it and prepare for it. So we provided some tips, no? Unang-una, it's just to be up to date. When planning your PR programs, just make sure that they're relevant and to the times and to the industry. So it goes without saying that it helps to plan early, no? So kahit na meron tayong last minute work dyan, kailangan start pala ng taon, mag-isip na tayo, sinong approach natin, ano ang ipapasok natin, at kailangan din i-budget yan para maganda naman yung seamless na when we do enter the competition. Second one, collaborate. So what has worked with us through the years are the strong collaborations that we've built, not only with the internal partners within PLDT Group, but external shareholders, because this ensures that our programs are relevant to our target publics. Ito yung pangatlo ang pinaka-importante kasi sa tingin ko, ito dapat ang una nating gawin kung talagang plano nating mag-compete and maging relevant. And also, yung award-winning, no, is to calibrate and measure. Set clear and measurable objectives for your campaigns. Kasi kung wala kang ang baselining, wala rin mapaparito yung paparoonan ng iyong proyekto. And then, each year, we encourage everyone to innovate. The challenge for the aspirants is really to come up with groundbreaking, off-the-beaten-track programs. You know, sometimes you don't have to invent the wheel. You just have to keep an ear to the ground and see what people need. Like doon lang sa child protection, talaga it was surefire. We needed to do something about keeping safe spaces online because to keep quiet and your connectivity service, you will be blamed for actually being maybe complicit of what's going on. You're doing nothing. That means you are contributing to the problem. So mapipilitan ka rin talaga eh. So both you're forced to and at the same time, you really need to. And because you want to. And this is what we want to present in every program, that we want to do it because we know it's good. Off the beaten track programs, you can also get into that. Take a stab at taking a risk. But there's one final tip, is to collate and submit. Your entries must be concise and clear, and just be deliberate in what you choose to include. I mean, don't be flowery. Just provide the best and most relevant resources that can support the entry. And goes without saying, compelling, well-written, well-packaged entry will make it stand out. Ako kasi naging judge. At some point, we recluse ourselves from when we see that there's, conflict. So I'm not able to judge our entries or the MVP group entries. Pero ang nakita ko talaga, kung may konting grammatical error, demerit na yun. Ganun katap. So this also encapsulates not only Anvils but other competitions. Just if you're serious about winning, then make sure that it's a standout. So hopefully it helps out in the perspectives. Hoping that we'll find some healthy competition in the this coming year.
Meron akong personal question kay Ma'am Cathy tsaka sa iyo, Sir David, no? Kasi pareho kayong you are into corporate social responsibility. Ngayon, kapag ka pinaghambing, ang dami nating nakuhang magagandang puntos, information kay Ma'am Cathy. Pero kapag ka ipinaghambing natin yung CSR versus marketing, parating na-outshadow yung inyong mga magagandang ginagawa, no? For example, uy, ano bang latest kay Smart? Naabangan ko nga yung iPhone, ano na ba ang iPhone ngayon? 15, ha? Inaabangan ko nga yung S23 something ng Samsung. Okay. Sa merkado, ito yung parating pinag-uusapan. Less information ang nakukuha natin when it comes to the corporate social responsibility. Dugo at pawis ang puhunan nyo dito eh. Pero sabi ko nga, parating feeling ko lang, undervalued. Saan natin gustong dalhin itong ating mga pinag-uusapan in the future para yung mga nakikinig at nanonood sa atin will be enticed and talagang magkaroon ng very, very strong connection when it comes to social responsibility.
I'm glad you bring that up, Johnny, no? Kasi yung corporate social responsibility, parang that's a phrase from eons ago. Because it doesn't really encompass what we intend to go to. It's parang it's a stopover, kumbaga, no? Because the real goal is sustainability. That is the goal. Not just for PLDT and Smart, but for every company that wants to be relevant and to be wanted, liked, loved by consumers. If you take a look at all the successful companies right now, it's those who present their sustainability plans, that they convince their customers that they're sustainably getting their raw materials from resources that are sustainable, because our consumers are demanding that. And that's what we're forced to also accept and also go towards. Kaya on the part of PLDT and Smart, ito mga nakwento ko, social pillar lang to. Meron pa tayong environmental pillar and governance pillar na nakapaloob doon sa aming sustainability office. And we closely work with the sustainability office in creating this arch of the sustainability narrative that we're still getting to. Yung mga net zero, yung doon sa mga napapa-discuss sa ngayon sa mga COP27, mga ganon, where we'd like to have leadership in environmental protection and in making sure that what we're using for our cell sites are environmentally friendly and that we are good with our governance statistics. Pero yung social pillar ngayon ang napag-usapan natin ang ngayong lumilitaw, at least from the perspective of the Anvils, as something that's leading the conversation on sustainability. So sa tingin ko, ito rin ang nagpapalakas sa merkado, no? Yung kung i-observe mo sa lahat ng mga kumpanyang nakalist abroad, sila din ang nire-reward ng mga investors, yung mga sustainably active, yung mga active sa mga responsible investing, yung mga single biggest investors, yung activist investors, would go for companies who are doing good. And for those who are not doing good, they get called out. And it hits the stock price. So we're also forced to go in the same direction. But at the end of it, we got to want it. Because it's also good for us. We may be corporate leaders at that and representatives, but we're also consumers. So it also goes back to us. If we don't do good with our environment, babalik din yan sa atin and to our kids.
Sir David?
Sir Johnny, public office is a public trust. Same with businesses, ano? Kailangan pinagkakatiwalaan sila ng communities kung saan nag-ooperate sila. Sabi ng Harvard Business Review, 2 things you need to have, ano, to gain trust. Number 1 is to show you're competent dun sa ginagawa mo. And pangalawa, you should go beyond your business. Dapat makita nila that you're willing, to be a mile ahead of what you do. And yun nga, gumawa ng sustainability programs or CSR. So I think overall, when you're able to do this, investors will come in and clients will love you more and more.
Ayan. Naku, wala na tayong oras. Napakasarap pa naman itong ating kwentuhan. Sana magkaroon tayo ng part 2, Sir David, kay Ma'am Cathy, ha?
Sure.
Okay. Siguro, pahabol na lang kay Cathy for those who want to collaborate with you. How do they contact you?
Yes, contact us at myself. Folks email me for potential collaborations, and then I refer them to our stakeholder management team. So kahit sa akin, sa email ko, nasa online naman.
Ayan.
Just our website.
Thank you so much. Mga kaibigan, si Miss Cathy Yang, First Vice President and Head of Corporate Communications, PLDT Smart. It's been a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, Ma'am Cathy.
Thank you
Dito
so
po sa
much,
inyong
Johnny.
ginawang pagsama.
And David, happy weekend to everyone.
Happy weekend. Thank you so much. Magbabalik po ang usapang bata at iba pa in just a very short while.